The use of an approved marking product does not offer a total guarantee to the contractor. He has to apply the product properly. The application will be carried out in 3 basic steps. Correct preparing of products and equipment, accurate rating with a test panel, permanent control on the working site. These different steps will be recorded in a working site log. If paint is used, it must be well shaken so that it becomes homogeneous. If the equipment was cleaned after the last application, it should still be clean. One may then adjust the height of the spray gun so that, when spraying, the paint cone bottom fits in the lower part of the discs. The width of the latter will determine the width of the marking to be performed. The paint is now homogeneous. The flow time will be measured, and this will determine if the viscosity is suitable. The products are normally supplied ready to use. If necessary, some thinner may be added on the working site in verified quantity. Filtering is recommended. However, a product that keeps well and thus can be mixed easily does not need filtering, with no risk of obturating hoses and spray guns. The sprinkling beads require no special preparation. A long storage under humid conditions may, however, cause clumps. The product and equipment preparation is over. The application technical team will proceed to the last adjustments on the test panel in order to obtain the expected dosage. The carriageway is new, perfectly clean, and the pre-marking is clearly visible. The test panel is generally done on the side of the road, using the pre-markings and the machine guide. The rating may be performed on polyethylene sheets, which have been weighed beforehand and are 2 to 3/10 of a millimeter thick. The sheets must be at least 50 centimeters long in order to provide significant results. The application pressures for the glass beads and the paint are being adjusted in accordance with the expected dosages. The first testing series allows to determine the total dosage paint plus beads. As the bead sprinkler is shut off between the 2 testing series, the weight in paint only may be obtained. When the paint is dry, the test panels are removed and weighed. The results of the rating in product and beads rarely correspond to those expected. The pressures must then be adjusted. If there are too important differences, the ratings are to be determined again. At the same time, the last study of the marking plant has been proceeded with. When the adjustments are correct, the application may start. The drying time of a paint may vary considerably with the atmospheric conditions: temperature, hygrometry, presence of wind, of sun. Even under the best conditions, the drying does not take place immediately. Protective cones are being placed, and this allows to keep traffic away from the freshly applied paint. The applications must be checked by the contractor. The contractor has to check first the size of the markings, as well as the proper sprinkling of the beads on the surface of the product. He should see if the marking complies with the plan. The controller must also check the dosages used by setting weighed test panels onto the carriageway before the marking. It is very important that the speed of the machine corresponds to the cruising speed. The use of a metallic test panel allows to determine by means of a Nordson gauge the wet thickness of the applied product. This is a rapid way of checking the quantities used. While the test panels are drying, the controller should make sure that the protective cones are not removed too early. The passage of a wheel on the marking is a more reliable test than the finger test. The test panels may then be weighed, but before that, the adhesive tape must have been removed, even if its weight seems negligible. These controls, done either by the contractor or the local authority, do not preclude the application team from doing its own control with similar techniques. 3 or 4 testing series done during the day allow to check the ratings regularly. All this may seem superfluous. In fact, it is essential. A slight difference in temperature may change the viscosity of the paint and cause significant variations in the ratings, even if the air pressure is the same. At the end of the day, the machine must be cleaned properly, the spray gun and its nozzle dismantled. The paint built up on the discs will be scraped off. Cleaning is often required during the day, especially if the spray gun is badly mounted. The hoses must be cleaned with some thinner that may be introduced either directly into the empty paint container or into a device intended for that purpose. The hoses are clean when the thinner flows out clear. Except for new and clean roads, it is almost always necessary to clean the carriageway first. This is usually done by a mechanical sweeper. However, watering or even scrubbing is sometimes required. Preparing thermoplastics consists above all in a proper mixing, while checking the heating. Overheating may lead to a yellowing or a bad skid resistance coefficient of the product. The product must flow easily but not excessively. If there are small or large unmelted lumps, the product must be poured again into the heat mixer. The adjustment of the equipment used for extruded thermoplastics depends on the roughness of the carriageway. One must thus proceed to the adjustment of the scraper blade for each surface. During the application, the test ratings may be carried out on plastic panels, as for paints. The same result may be obtained by simply watering the carriageway. The product no longer adheres to the surface. The thickness will then be measured with a caliper. One obtains thus the real dosage that must, for the same depth over sand, be higher than for the approval tests because of the plastic sheet. It is also necessary, as for paints, to check the regular bead sprinkling, since this is essential to obtain a good night visibility. Whatever the type of product, it is absolutely necessary to keep a working site log in which the following must be recorded: the rating results on the test panel, the checkings done during the day as well as the daily coverages. This log is used as a reference. The special markings are often harder to control regarding the dosage. Usually, the quantity of sprinkling beads is determined in advance for each application. Most arrows are done with a pattern. For thermoplastic coatings, the sprinkling must follow the application immediately in order to facilitate the embedment and the adhesion of glass beads. For arrows, it is recommended to use more product than for centerline markings in order to avoid a too rapid wear on the wheel track. This is especially the case for paints. Making a pedestrian crossing requires the utmost care, especially on paved areas. An efficient sweeping is absolutely necessary to ensure a good adhesion to the road surface. A roller is not recommended for paint application, and a hand spray gun requires very good training to obtain the expected thickness. For cold coatings, one must not forget to include a hardener. A thorough mixing is necessary. The product must be applied immediately after mixing so that no hardening takes place in the container. The adhesion is good when the product is sufficiently fluid. The empty containers must be counted to determine the dosage used, taking into account the net weight and the corresponding surface treated. Anti-skid aggregates are generally supplied with this type of product. An accurate spraying of the latter onto the surface allows to increase the skid resistance noticeably. Prefabricated stripes require different gluing processes. The durability of the stripes depends largely on the quality of the application. First, the carriageway must be perfectly clean. Whatever the type of glue used, it must be applied strictly according to the manufacturer's instructions. The carriageway is carefully pre-glued with a roller. The sheet is treated the same way. The two surfaces are then put into contact. The total hardening time is about 24 hours. A first setting is done by the foot. Some gluing systems require the use of pressing rollers to improve adhesion. In this case here, this is done by the traffic. The road marking site is the final use of the product. This product has performed correctly during the approval tests and has been approved. Its production is controlled by the authority. However, the user will be able to appreciate it only if the application is carried out properly. This confirms the importance of the contractor's task.